All right, guys, there's some big news regarding SBET, why the sentiment has changed, why it has changed, and what's going on so we understand how to position ourselves. Some minor news on BMNR, which we'll go through, but everything is looking really good today. And there's another thing that people don't really know about is this just launched today, which is huge for SBET. It's called Linea. It is basically a layer 2 on Ethereum, basically, and it is launched by Consensus. Guess who the CEO of Consensus is? Yes, you guessed it, Joe Lubin, and he was actually talking on a space on X today. And, you know, he's reiterating a lot of the great stuff. Now, you're like, well, why is this important for SBET? Well, I'm going to actually show you some of the things that this could be important for SBET. But basically, the valuation of this thing is obviously very low right now, but it is going to go up over time. It's about $2.5 billion fully diluted. Consensus owns about 15% of it, so they've already made a few $100 million, okay? Joe Lubin knows how to create value. He knows how to make money, okay? So people are sleeping on this SBET team for multiple reasons. I actually saw this launch today. I might actually qualify for one of the airdrops, so you could actually get these tokens for free if you know how to do these things. I think I qualify. I've been using Linea. So it's going to be interesting to see who makes money. Some people are going to be talking they made big money on this airdrop. But anyways, let's get to this. This is what changed the sentiment, and I want to go through this real quick with you guys. SBET basically utilized the $1.5 billion share buyback program. They purchased almost 1 million shares yesterday, okay? This is enormous. So I want you to understand why this is good, because you're like, well, they used their cash to buy back their shares. Yes, but they bought it at 15% below the value of NAV, below the value of the ETH they have. So basically, every stock that they repurchased, they were able to increase the valuation, the amount of ETH that backs all the stocks that we own. So by them buying the stock with the $20 million that they would have, well, less than that, even about $16 million they would have spent. That the $16 million that they spent, they basically increased how much we own of ETH. So the backing increased by that 15%. Where this becomes very interesting is this. They have $3.6 billion treasury, and I want to keep this number in your heads for you because I'm going to show you something here that's really big. $3.6 billion treasury means that they can go get a loan. For example, if the stock price goes even lower, they can get a loan, $300 million, and buy back the stock, and the backing of the stock becomes even stronger. So they can get a loan on their ETH, okay? And there's no problem, there's no worry about liquidations, because that loan is the way the loans work are you can get up to 80% of the ETH. They can literally go to Aave and cash out hundreds of millions of dollars, go buy their stock, keep their stock strong, backing increases. I mean, there's so much that they can do, but I'm also show you some other details. And, you know, this is also important. Nearly 100% of the ETH is staked, generating revenues, no current debt. They have $3.6 billion and no debt. And they're below one. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. So anyways, we're going to go through a few things so you guys understand what is going on. Now, I want to show you something that also there's all these Dogecoin. Zone is doing it. The Dogecoin, you can see it right here. Dogecoin reserves. I'm not big into these. As you can see, the kingmaker is Tom Lee. When he said, hey, I'm in something like he did with this one, OCTO, it went all the way to $70, $80. And I was right. I told you guys this is going to dump, right? I was exactly right. If I had money and millions of dollars, I would have shorted this. And the reason you need big money to short this is because there's only 3 million shares outstanding. You're not going to find shares. I tried to find shares to short. Couldn't even find them. But this was a great short for some hedge funds, and I'm sure that's exactly what happened here. And it's going to go lower. It's just the facts of the game here of how these things play out. So, you know, the reason I like these treasury companies, I'm going to show you some more details, is because they're predictable and there's math behind it. There's real math behind it. And if you understand the math, you can pretty much predict these companies all the way. You know, you can literally predict them. So also Tom Lee bought more ETH. He's literally buying 10,000 ETH every day because he's got a few $100 million still there. I'm sure he's now the price of, if you look right here, the price of BMNR is up today really big because the people started seeing this late. They now understand what happened with his investment in the WorldCoin Treasury company, OCTO, is a bigger deal. And look, it's up 6%. In fact, it's still cheap. This thing should be way higher. BMNR, BitMine should be like $60, $70, $80. I mean, they're not giving any NAV to this. It's ridiculous. This should be like at least 1.5, 1.6 NAV, okay? And I'm going to show you why it should be. And yes, SharpLink is down a little bit today, but it's a couple percent. It's 1 or 2%. It's not a big deal. It's very steady. They're doing their buybacks. I think it's important that they brought trust back into the stock, which they did very nicely. So this is where I want you guys to start thinking, because what's about to happen, and if you look at the prices today on the crypto markets, if you're invested in BitMine or SBET, please check the price of Ethereum today. It's pumping, okay? It moved up to 4,400. Yes, it's not as back to the highs of 4,800 or all the other stuff, but this is an important move. You got Bitcoin at 114,000. It just hit like a few minutes ago. It came a little bit down now, but there's something going on, and I'm going to show you. First of all, Ethereum just had record amount of fees on its what do you call, on the chain. 1.4 billion, 1.4 million dollars, almost 1.5 million dollars for the day. Okay, when you extrapolate this out for an entire year, you're looking at probably $600 million, $700 million in revenues. And this is the beginning of the bull run. During a bull run, the volume goes way up, and already ETH is surpassing the volumes of the last bull run. So imagine the volume going from here, double to triple. That means the fees ETH is going to possibly make is between $2, $3, even $4 million a day. It is going to be a juggernaut, basically burning ETH, possibly making it deflationary. So you guys don't really fully understand how all these things are going to play out. This could potentially become, during the bull run at least, a deflationary asset, while companies like SBET and BitMine are buying it. Okay, and everyone now understands that this is going to become kind of the backbone of the world financial market, settlement layer for all of this stuff that we've talked about in the past. This is absolutely enormous, okay? You can see who comes behind it. You got some Tron, which I'm actually impressed with Tron. Tron's doing great. I can't even believe Tron, the fees are this high. And yes, ETH burns most of their fees, basically, okay? Tron, you got Solana, which is actually 1.2 million, which is actually very impressive. Hyperliquid's actually, their token's been doing really well. And then the one that's really surprising me is BME. I actually own a substantial amount of BNB. It's doing well. And then obviously you got Bitcoin. And then everything else kind of comes behind it. And you got like, even Base pays ETH. That's the great thing. Base, even if they do 200,000, most of these fees are going to ETH because it's built on ETH. So if you got, same thing with Polygon or Abstract or Arbitrum, all these are paying ETH because they're built on top of it. So this could become very, very powerful for the Ethereum over the next few years. I mean, these numbers are staggering. Now, I wanted to bring you guys this because this is by Michael Saylor, and I wanted to bring this up to you so you understand where this is all going. Strategy Bitcoin holdings versus the biggest corporate treasuries. Strategy has $71 billion. It's number 5. It's behind Microsoft. So everyone is already talking about SBET and BitMine. Think about it. BitMine is already the 8.9, let's call it probably over $9 billion treasury now with no debt. $9 billion. They're not that far behind Visa at this point. All right. I want you to understand they only have 2 million Ethereum. When they get to 5 million Ethereum or 6 million Ethereum, which is what he's trying to get to, that is good. Let's say he even gets to 5 million Ethereum. Okay. He's already at 9 billion, looking at $20 billion, which would put him right behind Visa. But that's assuming that ETH is 4,400, which it will not be. As you can see with the data and everything we've gone over, ETH will go way higher. Even if ETH doesn't get to 10,000, let's say it gets to only 9,000 or 8,500, it will be, okay, think about it. It will be a $40 billion reserve, putting it in the marks of Ford and Tesla and Meta. It will be the top 10. This is for BitMine. It will be a top 10 treasury company. Now, SBET is smaller. However, SBET has a way to make yield that BitMine doesn't. So I'm going to go over that with you guys real quick, okay? Because this is where Linea comes into place. Because again, people don't understand. People don't understand what a big deal these things are because most people are not in crypto. I am. So I understand what the big deal is. Like I just showed you guys, Linea is absolutely huge for SBET for this reason. I do a lot of stuff in DeFi. I literally stake tokens. I do a lot of other stuff where I farm. They have access to ways to farm and yield that no one else will be able to. And I'm going to show you one of my most successful farms, which I don't recommend anyone do. This is on this platform, which is a casino. I actually became the house. You can actually deposit right here. In 2.5 months, all the ETH I staked in here has gone up by 20%. So when they have access to things, now I'm not saying they're going to go into a casino, but DeFi kind of is a casino, but they will be putting money into different DeFi projects. They will put in different platforms, loaning, borrowing. They can make 10, 12, 13, 14, 15% rather safely. In fact, on Linea, I bet you they know the people that are making the main exchanges over there. They're going to say, hey, we'll provide all the ETH for the people that want to do our ETH versus native ETH or wrapped ETH. Listen, you can earn 10, 12, 13% on that. No one else is going to be able to do these things. I'm doing this thing is probably going to do well over 100% for me. So if I put in 10 ETH in this, I'll get 20 ETH in a year. And I've already done it on their legacy system. Back here, I actually did it on BNB. I actually, not quite 100%, but actually very close. So there's ways you can do these things. And actually, I'm going to have a casino for you guys that's going to do an airdrop. See right here. Look at this. 119% on BNB. This is their legacy system. They closed it down now. But a lot of people put in and I had 14 BNB in here. I think I withdrew over 20. I had it in there 8-9 months. Where else can you make these returns? You guys don't understand how powerful DeFi is. You basically can be the house of these projects. You basically can do crazy shit you can't do anywhere else. Okay, the returns are huge for people who understand them. Now, this is one platform that I know the developer and everything. Same developer is making this new casino system. It's mind-blowing. I'm going to share it with you guys. All you got to do is play on it, and you earn the airdrops that will come out later. And these airdrops could be worth more than what you make or lose. So you can literally make money on the platform, which is really simple. It's not even a casino platform. It's one game where it's so cool. It's called Fatal City. That's it. It's just simple. And this dev, his last project did over $100 million in bets. It's just crazy numbers. So you guys, I'm deep in the stuff. I understand it. So, and you can actually be the house on that too. So you can literally put your ETH in there to go to work for you and be part of a casino. So these are things that SBET, Joe Lubin can do that nobody else can do. So you guys are sleeping on SBET. You guys are sleeping on BMNR. You guys just, I think, started waking up on BMNR. People just started understanding. Look, it's up 7%. Excellent. It's still too cheap. It's just too cheap for what they got going on. It went all the way to 49. This is great. It's got relative strength. This is what you want to see. It's just too low. $40. It's ridiculous. This is going to be one of the major strategic reserves of the whole entire stock market. And you want to sell this at 1 NAV? It doesn't make sense, guys. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, okay? This has to trade higher, just like strategy is, just like these bigger companies are. And I think the stock market will come around to it. It's already happening right now, as you can see, with the price up. And I think it's going to continue to go. People are starting to realize what potential BitMine and SBET have. And you're sleeping on SBET for these reasons that I highlighted. Ethereum, they have Linea. Consensus owns 15% of it. Look at this. Consensus Treasury, 15%. 15%. Joe Lubin knows what he's doing. People are sleeping on Joe Lubin like he's some dud. He isn't. He knows. He understands. Okay, they have 15% of this, guys. This is worth potentially billions of dollars. They're going to figure out ways to improve the amount of ETH that they earn more than anyone else, and then you're going to see SBET skyrocket. That's what's happening. So this is a setup. So how long this is going to take, I don't know, but this is a setup for SBET for the long term. I'm very excited about SBET. I think Linea is going to do great. It's a chain that's being used. And you can see how the breakdown is. Actually, I think I did a breakdown here. You can, airdrop today, 13 million, 13% only. And then there's only 22% out there. So got to give it some time to get its footing. But man, it's an exciting day for everyone, for BitMine and for SBET. I think great things are coming for both. Anyway, guys, best of luck. That was just a quick update for you guys. I'll try to give you guys more updates as we go along. Take care.